If you're in your 20s and ignoring your retirement, you're not being smart. You're being set up. 5 retiring engineers told me what they wish they'd known, and it's not what you think. Their advice surprised me. None of it came from a finance book. And the most common regrets came from the engineers who looked like they were on track. And if you click away now, you might miss the one thing that could allow you to retire 10 years earlier. My name is Stephen Kofer. If it's your first time here, it's great to meet you. If you're a returning visitor, it's great to have you here again. Thanks for supporting the channel. I'm in the same spot you're in. I'm focused on my career. I'm focused on building my retirement. And I'll tell you what, years ago, when I started seeing engineers retiring, as soon as I heard about it, I would often go up to them and I would ask them. And I would say, hey, what's one piece of advice that you wish you would have known when you were my age? So I've been doing this for probably 15 or 20 years now. So I've gotten some pretty interesting responses. And based on this feedback, it's now part of my plan. By the end, you'll know how to buy back your future, starting now. So here are the 5 things that I wish I would have known about retirement back in my 20s. The first one, hire a financial advisor. Now I know this is a controversial subject, so I'd love to hear your comments down below. In fact, I just finished reading the book by J.L. Collins called The Simple Path to Wealth, and that's one of the things in there is basically they say you don't really need a financial advisor. I'm still on the fence on this one, so again, I'd love to hear your input here, but that was the first thing that I heard when I started asking this question. The main reason being, because as an engineer, I like to ask probing questions. I said, okay, so why is that? He said,
oh, it's the best move I ever made to hire a financial advisor.
Because it gave him the certainty that he needed to be able to set an actual retirement date and then work toward that date. I think he probably would have worked longer had he not talked to a financial advisor and the financial advisor gave him the confidence to say,
okay, it's time to hang it up. I've got enough money saved up. I'm gonna be okay.
The second thing I wish I knew about retirement when I was in my 20s is to save more than you think. I think when I was in my 20s, I had this sense that, okay, if I save 10% of what I make, I'm gonna be okay. And I think in hindsight now, I wish I would have taken the approach of saving a whole lot more. I'm, just like most people, I was a victim of lifestyle creep. So as I started making more money, my expenses increased. You know how it goes, right? You get a raise, it's like, oh, okay. You know what? Now I can afford a little bit more car. I can get a nicer apartment, or in my case, okay, I think I'm ready to go buy a house. And if you can avoid that trap of, I would call it moving the goalposts, you're going to be so much further ahead, and you're going to buy your freedom, not only your financial freedom, but your freedom in general, where you work, how long you work, things like that. I think if I could do it again, I would try to target saving 50% of what I made. I mean, I'm a pretty frugal guy anyways. I think 50% would be awesome. And that was another takeaway from Simple Path to Wealth and also Psychology of Money. Just save. Even if you don't have a target or like a goal for something you're saving for, there's a lot to be said for saving money just for the sake of saving, so that you have flexibility, you have freedom. One of the beautiful things is compound interest, and I don't think I knew what compound interest was, but I don't think I really appreciated the power of compound interest. And now that I'm more studied in the world of personal finance and that, boy, I should have been saving more and investing more early on. In fact, I can think of at least 2 of the retirees that I talked to that's the advice they would have given to their younger self.
Save more.
Pay more attention to your investments. This particular gentleman, he was telling me, he's like,
You know what? I got, so into the grind, the day-to-day work, the firefighting, things like that.
he never really paid much attention to what his investments were doing. I mean, he was saving money, so he was able to retire comfortably at a reasonable age, but he didn't pay attention to what his investments were doing. I think that's a big thing that I think is important, and it doesn't need to be complicated either. I mean, it could be as simple as, hey, am I looking at my stock versus bond allocation? Right? The rule of thumb is as you get older, you want to take money out of stocks and start putting it into bonds, and generally that's what I'm currently doing and adjusting as needed. But just pay attention to it. What's it doing? How much money do you have in there? Now, that being said, I don't want you to obsess over it either. Like if you're checking your 401k at work daily, that's probably excessive. I don't think you need to do that. But, monthly, quarterly, I think that's a good idea. I try to touch base with my financial advisor twice a year, and I think that's plenty for the age I'm at and how far away from retirement I am. So again, don't let it run your life, but you need to be mature about it, be an adult, and take good care and be a good steward of your money. The fourth piece of advice that I just had a recent retiree share with me after 27 years of service, he said,
Time goes by way faster than what you realize.
in his particular situation, it was kind of one of these things where, again, just kind of you get into the routine and the grind and things in the corporate world. And he just basically woke up one day and he knew. He's like,
Okay, it's time for me to retire.
his wife was pulling her hair out, taking care of some grandkids, so he really wanted to be a part of that and be a part of their lives. So whatever your reason for retirement is I'm sure it's unique to you, but the thing that I think we can all take away from this is be mindful of how you set up your career and how you approach your role, your work plan goals, things like that, such that, once you set that date, that would be my encouragement for you is to take a look, sit down with your financial advisor if you have one and make a plan. Have just imagine the peace that would give you to be able to sit there and say,
Hey, you know what? I'm retiring in 6 years.
I know a couple people that have picked a specific day.
I'm retiring on my birthday on this year, this day.
And they've known that for years. And I think there's power in that. And there's peace and comfort in knowing
Okay, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. This is the day I'm planning to retire.
Now with that said, stuff happens, right? This particular retiree that I'm referring to, his situation was,
Hey, my home life changed. Now I've got all these grandkids that need my time and attention. I need to be there for them.
he was planning on working at least another year, but that all changed when his life situation changed. So you got to be flexible too, and that's where having enough money saved up and invested is going to offer you that flexibility when life happens. So the fifth thing that I wish I knew about retirement in my 20s was your retirement date does have a tendency to sneak up on you. It's not like somebody's going to come up and tap you on the shoulder and say,
Hey, it's time for you to retire now.
I mean, I hope that doesn't happen to you. I hope the company you work for, or, your boss doesn't do that to you. Heaven forbid. Hope that doesn't happen to me someday. But it will sneak up on you. So plan accordingly. Don't let it sneak up on you. I find it tremendously valuable to think about that finish line and then reverse engineer the plan to allow you to achieve that goal of retirement and get to that finish line successfully. If this video is hitting home for you, drop a comment down below. Let me know, like, what is your biggest financial fear or hurdle? Let's solve this problem together. I read every comment, and who knows, maybe I'll feature your comment in a future video. This channel's about building success, not just chasing a paycheck. With these simple tools, you can start today too. If you enjoyed this video, I think you're gonna love this next video that's popping up on your screen right now. I'll see you over there.